Hey, Nikki, what you doing?
Mama,
What'd you do, honey? You cut down the trees, huh? Well, I guess,
I got going.
yeah, I guess I'm not going to get any too much coriander this year. Okay, well, I'm glad you cut down the trees. So this is the coriander and the cilantro bed. Hello, my name is Joanne. I have 67 raised beds. This is my son, Nikki. He just cut down the trees, which means he took all the cilantro that had gone to seed, and I was getting ready to collect the coriander.
Mama.
I'm going to collect some of this coriander now that's made it outside the bed. I'm going to put it back in the bed. The second planting of coriander, the best place to plant your succession crop sometimes is right underneath the first crop. So this is a succession planting of the coriander, which is now flowering.
Mama.
I don't know if I'll get coriander seeds from them. Yes, honey. And I'm not going to get mad at him because I saw him over here playing several times, and I didn't do anything to stop him because I know I have tons of coriander seeds. So I'm just going to grab a couple, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just like I did I'm going to put these in my pocket and then wonder why I have coriander seeds in my pocket. I just need to save a couple. Just like my other beds, I'm going to come through, I'm going to leave the plants that are here, and I'm going to get rid of the weeds. This bed has had coriander in it now for 5 years. It was one of the first ones I planted. I actually have a big pot over there that used to be my coriander, or cilantro. And then when it seeded, I took the coriander seeds and put them in here, so it would have a permanent bed that was tied to the ground. So he just made my life easier and harder. He's been in this bed. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of spreading the seeds around. They seem to be heavier on one side than the other. So I want to get some of these coriander seeds spread around. They don't have time to really germinate. So leaving them on the soil and then covering them with their own sticks is the best thing I can do. I will come back through and get rid of some of the obvious weeds like the wood sorrel, clover. Although this is deeper rooted and I'm not pulling the roots as much as I should. So don't panic if you have help in the garden. Honestly, unless it's a prized plant that only flowers once every so many years, it's worth. I'm so glad that I can have him in the garden with me. So at least while he's still interested. There is a tomato blowing back here. There are more seeds. So I would come through, and the benefit of weeding this bed will be it will disturb the soil even more and plant more of this coriander. I don't need to I'm not worried about the coriander seeds this year because I have like 2 bottles of them, and I don't use them that often. I am team soap. The coriander is okay. The cilantro I'm team soap. I can have a little bit of it, but then it's too much for me. So anybody that knows what that's all about, it's a genetic thing apparently. I don't know, but it's just a genetic component, I guess, to have that problem with coriander, or to have that problem with cilantro. I don't think it's with coriander. I don't think that the seeds are a problem. I'm noticing there's an old squirrels must have been busy. So there's my bed. My son helped me. He cut down the trees, which means he cut down the dried cilantro stalks. That's fine. There's a tomato back there. That's what he was handing me green tomatoes. He was bringing them over. That's where they came from. I'm not worried. I've got more than enough tomatoes. That is just a volunteer. So don't let things in your garden get you upset. It's not worth it. I'd rather have happy gardening than, oh, well, I mean, if he came through and mowed down my tomatoes, I might be a little upset, but all in all, now we'll have more tomatoes next year because those seeds are going to go everywhere. And right now, and at this point in time, I'm I've been processing a vat of tomatoes every day. So every morning I wake up, I cut my tomatoes, put them in the crock pot, and then wait for them to give me some tomato juice. I siphon off the tomato juice. I process the tomatoes so that I can get rid of the seeds and the skin, and then I cook that batch down. And after it comes to a good boil for a while, I let it cool. I put it into containers and then I freeze it. I haven't been canning my tomato sauce. With the pH stuff with the tomatoes, I don't want to pressure can them. So right now, I like to pressure can things, but if I'm going to pressure can something, it's going to be something like chicken soup or chicken pot pie, or it's going to be beef pot roast or something that I can make into a meal so that we literally can just take it off the shelf and use it with some noodles or some rice or something. So I don't tend to can. I don't like canned green beans. I don't like professional canned green beans. I like frozen green beans. So I have my preferences. I have my little odds and ends and my pickiness. So that's just me. And I'm probably going to cut all this out. So maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes I worry that I overshare. I don't want to overshare. I just want to give you the information you need. And the information you need with this bed was the baby got in here. The baby cut down my coriander that had been dry, my cilantro, which had been drying, which has now coriander seeds. And all I'm doing is putting those coriander seeds into the bed so that they can come up next year, because these coriander for me is always reseeded itself. Oh, here's some more. See, as I look around, I see more stalks on the ground. He really did a good job cutting all these trees down. If you need him for tree service, let me know. Although his trees are coriander and cilantro. Just put those back in there. I know they'll come back next year. I will come through at the end and we put a light layer of every year of leaves, tree leaves. When the tree leaves start falling, my husband has a little sweeper thing, and although he puts most of it in the compost, he comes through and drops a bunch on each one of the beds. And this one has not been, did not get any straw mulch on it, so it really could use the leaves again. And that's all we've been doing to this bed, is just putting leaves on it. And with the seeds coming up, I don't want to heavily straw it because I don't know where these are going to come up. So usually when I plant seeds, I make the mulch very light so that the seeds can come up. The reason for the mulch is to stop weeds from coming up, but when you plant plants, you don't want to stop your seeds. So that's it for now. It was an impromptu. I just came over here because the baby was here and he was handing me tomatoes, and I wanted to see what he was doing, and he cut all the trees down. So all the trees are cut except for these, which are still growing. There's even some dried coriander over here. I have some in my pocket, which is just enough to ensure that I have seeds for next year, just in case, but I know I have seeds in the house. But I always like to have fresh seeds, so I will start my next year's seeds with these seeds, and I will start some of my, if the season starts and my corianders come up, I will start my succession plant of coriander. And that's what this whole section was. It was the succession plant of coriander. There was some over here, but it looks like the weeds got to them, or maybe the little truck got to them. So that's why they didn't come up, but they're there. They are there. I've pulled some of them, I think, by mistake. All right, I'm going to cut this video because it's really kind of choppy. Maybe I can save it. This winter, I'm going to have to come up with some ideas. I'm going to have to come up with some ideas for what am I going to do when this is covered in snow, or what am I going to do when this is covered in ice, or what am I going to do when it's just too cold and I just want to stay inside. So maybe I'll save this video for then, because that'll give me a lot of editing to do. I'm learning how to edit. I haven't learned how to do chapters yet. I keep getting messages from people wanting to improve my channel, and I don't really want to improve my channel. I kind of like it this way. My kids can see how goofy and lame I am, and I'm an old fogey, and I'm not a boomer, though. My husband's a boomer. I'm not. But it's just the way it goes. I'm not ragging on boomers or X. So it's just a funny world we live in. So don't give up. Even if somebody comes through and cuts all your trees, don't give up. It's still yours. This is still my land. I still own it with my husband, and my kids, and however we decide to save it or move, whatever. but this is mine. This little piece of dirt is mine. And sometimes that's the best feeling in the world, to know that you have a little piece of dirt, that you can do what you want on it within reason. I mean, I can't start up a nuclear facility. Not that I would want to, but it's still mine to grow in, to be reasonable in, and to call my own. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye, and don't give up.